Hey everyone! Welcome to The Young and the Restless. I'm Jane, and I'm so excited to have you here. If you love Young and the Restless, then you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Alright, let's dive right in. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of August 4th to 8th indicate that Phyllis Summers makes a concerning power move, Lily Winters has a breakdown, and Kane Ashby's homecoming to Genoa City will go awry. Kane will proceed with his comeback in spite of all the cautions he has gotten about staying away from GC. But because of the Newmans and their attempts to protect their land, Kane will be entering a dangerous area. Adam Newman is eager to play dirty against Kane and has vowed to stay faithful to his family. Chelsea Lawson has previously attempted to shield Billy Abbott, but now that he is preparing for a Kane partnership, she might not be willing to do so. Naturally, Billy has also been attempting to entice Phyllis with a partnership that aligns with their Kane objectives. Phyllis appears ready to go all in and raise some red flags for her loved ones in the process, despite her initial reservations. No matter how much Nick Newman and Daniel Romalotti Jr. protest, Phyllis always gets her way. As worries increase, fans of YNR should anticipate Phyllis to make a daring power move. After all the murderous chaos, Sharon Newman will have some unsettling information for Mariah Copeland. Sharon might also enlighten Mariah on the kiss she had with Nick and the complexity of the situation. Furthermore, Mariah might inform Sharon of her failing relationship with Tessa Porter. If Mariah can't get her act together quickly enough, Tessa and Mariah's separation could turn into a divorce. Will Mariah start to worry about Tessa and Daniel's relationship and how close they are becoming? After strangling that individual during her business trip, Mariah feels haunted, so it will be interesting to watch what it takes for her to get over the incident. They will finally bid Cole Howard farewell in person after they return to the Newmans. After Nick, Victor, and Nikki Newman return to town, it appears that Victoria and Claire Newman will finally proceed with the memorial service. There will undoubtedly be more turmoil around Audra Charles, but Kyle Abbott will do his best to assist Claire. Along with Amy Lewis, who might question Audra as she looks for additional details regarding the trip, Nate Hastings will continue to mourn Damian Kane. Memorial arrangements should be made for Chance Chancellor as soon as possible, as he will undoubtedly be grieved as well. Lastly, Lily is probably going to have another tantrum driven by Kane. When Lily and Kane reunite in Genoa City, she might be angry with him for returning there against everyone's desires, including her own. According to teasers for The Young and the Restless, there will be some surprises and upheavals during the week of August 4th to 8th. As his world continued to spiral into chaos, Kane could feel the fire building around him. The depth of the secrets he held and the number of people who would be brought to the surface if they were revealed were more significant factors in the danger he had entered. Things hadn't been going well since he got back to Genoa City. Everyone was shocked by Damian's unexpected arrival, but Kane was particularly troubled by the fact that Lily had noticed something in Damian that she hadn't seen in Kane in a long time: hope. And now that hope had started to tear her apart. Every action Kane took seemed to drive Lily farther away, despite his best efforts to hang on and mend what had been damaged. He no longer knew how to get through to her because she was not just upset, she was on the edge of losing it. With regrets neither of them could hide, their past, their love, their anguish, the betrayal, the grief, was now a war. One night, she sobbed as she yelled at him, accusing him of concealing too much and of knowing more about Damian than he disclosed. Although Kane denied it, the fact was that he did know more than he could or wanted to acknowledge. Damian's reappearance was no coincidence or spectral resuscitation. It was planned. And the strings had been tugged by someone in Genoa City. That someone could be Phyllis, Kane thought. Although Phyllis Summers was always a skilled manipulator, in recent years her maneuvers have gotten more calculating, colder, and sharper. She now functioned like a chess grandmaster who was 20 moves ahead of everyone else, having allied herself with strong figures in the shadows. Phyllis was establishing herself as the only person in Genoa City capable of controlling the chaos, while Kane was frantically trying to defend himself. She didn't hesitate to use the information she possessed, including data, recordings, and leverage. People believed that she had become softer as a result of pregnancy and sadness. They were mistaken. Every crisis was an opportunity for Phyllis, and the Damian mystery was no different. She broke the last of the trust between Lily and Cain by using Lily's emotional downward spiral as a wedge. She incited mistrust, rage, and dread by whispering half-truths and truths into the correct ears. She intended to take advantage of every inch of Cain's desperation since she knew he was weak. However, Phyllis wasn't doing maliciously. Instead, she had a larger objective that was connected to her personal setbacks, her need for power, and perhaps, in her heart, a need to exact revenge for something she hadn't fully acknowledged to herself. Lily, meantime, was losing her hold on everything she believed to be firm. Rumors concerning her personal judgment were becoming more prevalent, and her career at Chancellor Winters had suffered. People started to question her intuition. The realization that she had once again trusted the wrong man, however, was what broke her the most. She had tried to think that the man she had loved may still be inside Cain, and she had given him a lot of opportunities. But Lily felt herself falling apart with each lie that was exposed and each secret that Cain would not divulge. One afternoon at Devon's office, she sobbed that she had lost all faith in people. Even Amanda made an effort to step in and gently urged Lily to take some time off in order to recover and absorb everything that had suddenly fallen apart. Lily, however, refused to quit. She was unable to. Her obsession grew darker, and some feared she was slipping into the same kind of spiral Hillary once experienced, driven, haunted, reckless. Something about Damian's story didn't sit right, and despite her fragile state, she was determined to learn the truth about what actually happened to him before and after he died. Despite his imperfections, Cain was quite concerned. Not only about Lily's well-being but also about the imminent threat. He had begun to notice things like anonymous notes, a car following him, and someone keeping an eye on the Ashby estate at night. Damian hadn't just come back to agitate people. Cain was in the blast zone now, and he was fleeing from something. He attempted to contact Chance for assistance, but Chance was preoccupied with another case, and nothing could be done in the absence of proof. Even when Lily didn't want his assistance, Cain felt he had to keep her safe. Going through previous communications, contacts, bank information, everything that could connect Phyllis or Damian to the bigger game he felt was being played, kept him up at night. However, each thread ended at a dead end or, worse, returned to a former ally. Meanwhile, Phyllis focused on Jabot and Chancellor Winters, taking advantage of the widening gaps in both empires to negotiate agreements that increased her authority over media, technology, and security. Her IT team was working non-stop, collecting dirt, breaking into private servers, and hacking into stuff she shouldn't be able to access. She also found a paper that may ruin Cain somewhere in all of it. A transfer to the bank. A moniker. A date. Evidence suggesting Cain had communicated with a person connected to Damian's disappearance. She wanted the smoking pistol to keep him on a leash, not to kill him completely. She spoke to Cain in a cool, almost empathetic tone. "Cain, I don't want to ruin you. All I ask is that you quit acting like you're innocent. Because you're not." She gave him a copy of the document and left down the hall, her heels clicking like bullets. Cain stared at it, his hands shaking. There was no escaping his past now that it was catching up with him. Lily found herself going to Crimson Lights more frequently, as though the calm buzz of the coffee shop might calm her inner turmoil. Her heart ached for her former family as she saw couples laugh and kids play. She missed the easy times when Cain was her husband and not a complete stranger. While Maddie and Charlie were still at home and unharmed. At this point, everything seemed like twisted, clumsy, dramatic fiction. One morning, she ran into Billy, who attempted to console her but was unable to do so. She sobbed as she admitted that she had no idea whether Damian was actually dead or whether Cain was involved in the cover-up. Lily wasn't prepared to let go, even if Billy advised her to exercise caution. Kane came home to his condo one evening to discover it had been looted. Papers strewn, furniture flipped, drawers pulled open. However, whomever did it was searching for something, so nothing was taken. Blood dripping from a tiny cut on his forehead from stepping on broken glass, he sat down, discouraged. He was aware that this was only the start. He was being pursued. Kane was running out of time, allies, and opportunities since Lily was pushing him away, Phyllis was holding the knife, and Damian's mystery was becoming more and more enigmatic by the hour. Perhaps, just possibly, the Winter's name may still provide some protection, so he called Devon. Devon, however, was wary because he had also heard rumors. Rumors. Caution. Devon consented to meet, but he made it plain that if Kane did something that couldn't be forgiven, he wouldn't be drawn into a cover-up. Kane comprehended. By setting up secret meetings with people no one could identify, Phyllis maintained her position at the Grand Phoenix. She had a plan that went well beyond Lily or Kane. The narrative of Damian was merely a prelude. She desired greater things, like legacy, influence, and power. Kane, however, wasn't going to give her such an easy victory. He chose to take a chance. He reached out to Tucker and made a deal. Both parties would gain from silence and protection. Always fascinated by chaos, Tucker consented, but at a cost. Blood would be the price of betrayal for Kane, who now had to deal with a man much more vicious than Phyllis. Lily reached her lowest point as the strain increased. One night, she shut herself in her apartment, pulling down photos, pacing, and screaming. After a while, Devon and Amanda stormed in and discovered her in the bathroom, crying, trembling, and saying Damian's name as if it were a curse. She was diagnosed with acute stress-induced trauma and admitted to the hospital for a brief period. Amanda told him Lily needed distance, not more falsehoods, so she stopped Kane's attempt to visit. Kane was more broken by that event than he wanted to acknowledge. Uncertain if anything he did now could repair the damage left behind, he wandered through Genoa City that night like a ghost. Phyllis, meanwhile, was getting ready for her last move. She needed to play one more card, one more file. A film. Grainy but damning, Kane met with a man who was identified as Roman Jessup, a renowned fixer with ties to Damian's history, late at night. 3 days prior to Damian's death, the video was timestamped, and she understood that this would either ruin Kane or make him her puppet. Yet while she prepared the release, an unforeseen circumstance occurred. Damian made a second appearance. Still alive. Not hiding. Alive and enraged. With a revolver in his hand and retaliation in his eyes, he stormed into Phyllis's hotel suite and demanded answers. Phyllis gazed at him, astonished yet unfrightened. Coolly, she observed, "You're late. Now have a seat. We have tasks to complete." The game then abruptly altered once more. Now, it wasn't just Kane who was in danger. No one was safe longer, not even Phyllis, Lily, or Kane, as the danger zone had expanded. The latest plotline featuring Kane, Lily, and Phyllis has been nothing short of explosive, weaving a complex web of treachery, emotional breakdowns, and brutal power moves that have viewers on the edge of their seats. Drama is nothing new in the world of the young and the restless. While Lily's breakdown exposes the profound rifts in their relationship, exposing raw emotions and unresolved tensions that threaten to destroy their bond beyond repair, Kane finds himself in jeopardy, stuck between his previous transgressions and the growing pressure of his current situation. Phyllis, who has always been a skilled manipulator, takes advantage of the confusion to make a power play, demonstrating once more why she is one of Genoa City's most formidable characters. Viewers are left wondering who will win, or if anyone will escape unscathed, because the relationships between these three characters have reached a boiling point and every moment is intense. The motif that has plagued Kane during his time in Genoa City is his own acts finally catching up with him, which leads to his decline into danger. It is difficult for him to entirely regain trust, even from those closest to him, because of his prior deceptions, especially the falsehoods about his purported death and the split with Lily that followed. Now that fresh difficulties have emerged, Kane is once more dealing with the fallout from his decisions, whether it is unstable finances, career losses, or the disintegration of his marriage. He is clearly struggling to remain afloat as he attempts to strike a balance between the tremendous weight of his mistakes and his desire to be a better man. He is in an internal conflict between who he was and who he wants to be, and there is no simple path out of the danger zone. Every choice he makes seems to backfire, driving him more into a downward spiral of despair. The more he attempts to make things better, the more they fall apart, leaving him open to the machinations of others, especially Phyllis, who is always willing to take advantage of others' weaknesses for her own ends. In contrast, Lily is going through an immense collapse as she struggles with loss, betrayal, and the devastating knowledge that the life she created with Kane might not be salvageable. Lily, who was once a rock of support, is now breaking down, her suffering showing up as tears, outbursts, and times of extreme vulnerability that highlight how hopeless she is. Her breakdown isn't solely related to Kane's most recent transgressions, it's also a result of years of instability and the conviction that history will continue to repeat itself no matter how hard she tries to save their relationship. She is worn out, emotionally spent, and at a turning point in her life where she must choose between walking away and regaining her independence or continuing to battle for a love that has hurt her so much. Her scenes are filled with intense emotion as she alternates between sadness and rage, her normal poise broken by the pain of her heartbreak. The fact that Lily's breakdown isn't only about Kane but also about her identity, sense of value, and the possibility that she may have given up too much for a relationship that no longer fulfills her is what makes it so riveting. Fans are left wondering whether this is the last straw, when Lily will finally have enough, or whether she will manage to forgive Kane again in spite of all the obstacles. The wild card in this combustible triangle, Phyllis, then, sees the mayhem between Lily and Kane as the ideal chance to use power. Phyllis has always flourished in chaos, using her keen intellect and cunning instincts to take advantage of any circumstance. This time is no exception. Phyllis excels at pulling strings with deliberate precision, whether she's influencing events behind the scenes or stepping right into the confrontation. One thing is certain, when Phyllis makes a move, the consequences are never minor. Her reasons could be diverse, including a personal grudge, a financial interest, or the simple desire to remind everyone in Genoa City that she is not to be taken lightly. Her power play might take many different shapes, such as using Kane's weaknesses to achieve her own goals, dividing him and Lily more to undermine their united front, or even posing as an unusual ally of one of them before later revealing her true motivations. Phyllis's involvement guarantees that the stakes are higher than ever, regardless of her game, and her presence gives the plot an unpredictable edge that keeps spectators wondering about her ultimate goal. These three characters' interactions are intense, with tension building in every scene as alliances change, secrets are revealed, and emotions run dangerously high. Kane is a sympathetic character because of his desperation, but he is also irritating because it's obvious that he is drowning in regret and because he doesn't seem to be able to stop the circle of his own demise. It is devastating to witness Lily's breakdown, which serves as a sobering reminder of everything she has been through and how little she may yet have to offer. What about Phyllis? She is the spark in the powder keg, the one who has the power to either intensify the battle to unprecedented levels or, in a stunning turn of events, turn into the improbable force that brings everything to an abrupt end. The complexity of this plot is what makes it so beautiful. No one is entirely good or bad, every character has flaws and their own struggles and goals, and the true drama takes place in that gray region. The issue still stands as the plot develops. Will Kane's past ultimately destroy him, or can he escape the danger zone before it's too late? Will Lily be freed or destroyed as a result of her breakdown? Who will be left standing in Phyllis's wake, and how far will she go to ensure her power play? One thing is certain, Genoa City will never be the same following this explosive conflict of hearts, minds, and manipulations, even though the answers are far from clear. Relationships will be reshaped in ways no one could have imagined due to the unrelenting tension, intense emotions, and potential fallout. Whether it's Phyllis's vicious ambition, Lily's fight for self-respect, or Kane's quest for redemption, this trio has produced a plot that is both captivating and unpredictable, demonstrating once more why The Young and the Restless is still a major force in daytime drama. Fans can only prepare for the next startling turn in this gripping story as the stakes keep rising, since every gaze, every confrontation, and every silent calculation is full with meaning.